Hey, I'm Hailey.
And I'm Jessi.
And you're listening to
Personality Hire, the podcast where I don't mean to offend off the bat, but chocolate manufactured in the UK tastes
like doo-doo.
Trash.
It tastes like some doo-doo cacao.
And I know that when you might be in the UK right now, because guess what? UK... you are on the rise in our top countries that listen, and I appreciate that. So I'm
They're
really
coming for you, Norway.
not trying to not hit it off with you, because London is like one of my favorite cities in the whole world. But y'all's chocolate, I know you don't like our chocolate either. Like I know.
How do you not like our?
I know for a fact that you're like American chocolate, specifically like a Hershey's bar or whatever, tastes like a doo-doo. I know that you guys don't like it, but
if you don't like Hershey's, I understand that. I do.
But let's say the standard between the UK and American chocolate is Hershey's versus Cadbury. Your milk content in your chocolate, something ain't right.
It's chalky.
It's not. It's not even. No, it's not even
tart. It's bitter.
It's not even chalky. It's like there's something about it that is not. It's like lax. It's too creamy. It's too creamy, and then it tastes like This is. I'm sorry. I have to spit this out because it just came to me. I don't like grass-fed steak. Like
so grass-fed cows who give you the milk for their chocolate,
and I can tell immediately that it's grass-fed because it tastes gamier to me in some way, and I'm not about that life. Like whatever. This chocolate has a like grass-fed milk quality to it, and it's too much for me to handle. Maybe it's less processed, and maybe that's why my dumb American palate doesn't like it. Yeah. But I was on a flight recently in a country that is closer to UK than it is to America. So some of the treats they had that were available to me were imported from the UK. One of them being a Kit Kat, another one being, what was the other bar I had? I had another like well-known chocolate bar.
Yeah. Not it.
A big bummer. Because I took a
sorry, big bummer.
I took a bite of it expecting like my Kit Kat.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? And I flipped it over and it said manufactured in the UK.
Wow, because it had the same wrapper
and everything.
Okay,
it was disappointing.
That would hurt.
And then I'm sorry, but like Cadbury chocolate, any sort of Nestle chocolate that's made in the UK.
Oh, Nestle from the UK is real bad. That's a totally different thing too.
And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, here's what I would suggest you do. Go to World Market. Go to your World Market, a local World Market. They have an incredible selection of candies from around the world.
My favorite thing is you're like, this is horrible. Go to World Market.
But I want you to do a taste test.
I want you to experience the horror I experienced.
The other thing I want to say though is like Maltesers. Maltesers are an iconic candy from the UK that are chocolate covered little malt balls, and that chocolate works in that scenario.
I love a malt ball.
Go to World Market, find a chocolate bar that's manufactured in the UK, then get your American equivalent, do your own taste test, make your own decision. Don't let my rant affect you, but I do want you to know that, in my opinion, it's not as good. And you know who would disagree with me on this? Harry Styles.
Does he famously adore?
I don't know,
UK
but he's just a British man that came to mind because he's got new music out, and I just think that he'd probably be like, "You're wrong."
He'd say, "Put
a Malteser in it and shut it, Jessi." That's what he'd say, because I know that he probably likes it. So I just wanted to say that it's been on my spirit so much, so I made a note in my phone about it. I was like, I can't forget about this.
I'm glad you didn't, because honestly, that would be a very horrible experience to, first of all, take the chance on being on a plane and being like, I'm going to have this chocolate. I don't care what happens to my stomach. Because some people have a weird reaction, and you never know if it's going to be that day if you're a lady. You know what I mean? I actually don't know what it'd be like to be a man. So I just said, if you're a lady, because I'm a girl. And then you take a bite expecting a break of that Kit Kat bar. And instead, you are bamboozled. You are duped. And it's nasty as hell.
And I'm going to add another layer on for you since you brought up the lady part. I went for that specific snack because that morning I woke up and the floodgates opened and I started my period.
Yeah.
And it was the older I get, my periods are getting, I'm not
Violent.
throwing this word around, like they are getting debilitating. I walked like a 100-year-old woman through the airport because I had to hunch over.
Oh,
and
no.
I needed to take a chance. I said,
Yeah.
I gotta have a chocolate item. I gotta have something.
Yeah.
Today, right now.
Something soothed me, healed
So
me.
think about that, me.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like that would have been the worst thing. If you needed this, you took a bite and it betrayed you.
But don't worry, I bought other things.
Good.
Because, like I said, my first day of my period. So I also had a
Yes.
bag full of M&Ms. I had a bag full of other chocolate. So it wasn't like the end of my day, but it just really like
Yeah, but still, you found out something you didn't want to find out in that way. You didn't want to find that out.
we need to do our own
Taste test. I also want to do it with sodas, even though I have realized I used to be a big soda drinker. Like growing up,
Oh, okay.
Coke.
I was gonna say I've never
say Coke.
ever known you to
No, because
have
I don't
soda.
know.
Yeah.
Except I do love Famously. And if these people want to sponsor our pod or sponsor, if they just want to comment on one of our reels, I would take it. Zevia.
Girl.
Zevia is a stevia flavored fake soda.
Hailey be
It
loving
has
Zevia.
just one kind though. Ginger ale Zevias are like my fridge cigarette. You know, like a Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
No. And I
Need a
used to be a
Zevia.
big Diet Coke drinker. My mom famously used to drink those big gulps, like all the way through her life.
Because fountain
Yeah, fountain
sodas are
way
better in
I
general.
do like a fountain soda. Sometimes when I'm feeling like freaky, like if I'm having a lady time, I will order a Diet Coke
Yeah.
at a restaurant. And
Or-
I feel like the Mountain Dew drinker of the table.
Yes.
But I don't care. It's so good.
Or if you're experiencing a particularly vicious hangover, like a
Diet
DC is the only thing
Yeah.
that's going to cure me.
Truly.
And I also never drank soda growing up because my mom would straight up tell me straight to my face, Coke makes you fat, so we're not going to drink Coke.
See, that's why my mom drank Diet Coke,
ED
though.
culture in the 90s was wild.
It was wild.
Crazy.
Ringer. No, seriously. Big Diet Coke, Junior Mints.
Oh!
Yeah, that's what my mom would do. And
Oh,
then
God, I love a
cottage
Junior
cheese. That's
Mint.
what we just talked about,
Yes.
cottage cheese. Those were her like fixation.
my God. But
And
Junior
Cheerios. She would have a bowl of Cheerios, like the toxic diet culture I'm talking about.
when they were like the Special K breakfast.
Yeah, she would have that and like maybe put 3 slices of strawberries,
strawberry.
not a full strawberry
Yeah.
on there. But then she would like, my sweet treat is a Junior Mint.
Yeah.
My mom would totally talk about this if she could. So I'm not like putting her on blast anything. We talked about it.
We are both allowed to say things our dead moms did in the
Yes.
past, would have done, because we both know that, again, they have their own podcast in
They're
heaven
talking
called Personality Higher, HIGHER. And they're talking about weird shit we did when we were little. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Apples to apples. But no, we're going to do a taste test. I feel like that's
Yeah.
going to be, so if you turned in last week, Hailey brought us surprise babies.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna
now
do-
my next contribution is I'm going to get us, you know what
Yeah.
we're going to do? Oh, we're going to do a blind taste test.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And I want to do, okay, Pepsi really did their thing this year. They made everyone believe, everyone meaning me, that they were giving these podcasters, like I just thought the podcasters were talking about a Super Bowl commercial. It was the best ad I've ever heard because I listened to like 3 different podcasts where the week after the Super Bowl, they were talking about the blind taste test, the Pepsi challenge, and that even the polar bear, that was the whole ad, the polar bear, the Coke polar bear
Yes.
drank and preferred the Pepsi, whatever. This ad that they were doing on like copy for podcasts, they were like, yeah, like I tried it too and blah, blah, blah. Like I was believing that everybody was doing the Pepsi challenge. No, this was an ad.
But also
and it made me want to do the Pepsi challenge.
But that's
though.
also from the 90s. They had
Yes.
the Pepsi challenge.
Yes, I remember it being in New York.
Are they saying that if you blindly tasted a Coke versus a Pepsi,
You would choose the Pepsi.
But
There's
here's the
no
thing.
way in HE double
There's
hockey
not. And
sticks, honey.
also, I'm so
I'm sorry,
conditioned,
Pepsi.
especially as a Southern born and raised person, I'm so conditioned to know what Coke is over Pepsi. They taste so distinctly different.
They're so different.
And there's something about
and Coke is better.
The Pepsi sugar content. It don't sit right with me. It don't sit right with me. I gotta have, and I don't drink full fat Coke.
No.
I don't drink full throttle Coke. I just don't.
It tastes like syrup.
I mean, it's gonna rot your teeth.
But it tastes like syrup. But like it's so sweet.
But a DC, I'll have a DC, and I prefer DC over Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, also, they're way different.
I know that Britney Spears was a Pepsi rep at one point in her career.
And she made great commercials.
And she did, but I don't like the way that they put her feet to the flames to see if she actually drank Pepsi back in the day.
Pepsi's
and they really tried to get her, to try to catch her slipping on these interviews. I don't like that. And so also for that, I would like to say I don't want to drink Pepsi for the way that they allowed
media.
But Pepsi could have stepped in and said, Britney is a Pepsi drinker. No one protected Britney, not even Pepsi.
Poor Britney.
We have a lot of challenges to do. They all involve junk food and processed garbage, which is my personal favorite thing to have.
Or babies.
Or little babies. But I wanted to just to bring up the chocolate thing. And I also have something that's not relevant to that at all that I'd like to bring up for today, unless you have something that you also want to talk about.
I want to hear, because Jessi came in and she started talking about, she asked me the famous line of, what time were you born? And you just know fire flames are about to happen. You're about to learn some information about yourself. And I have a lot of friends who are very much into horoscopes, all that stuff. I know nothing. I love hearing about it. I love hearing about it. I don't know if I'm necessarily like into it as far as
it's fun.
It's fun.
We already said, we've said this many times. I'm not throwing away my religious beliefs to hang my fire horse on what I'm about to say. But this stuff is fun to me. I literally texted a friend about it too. And I was like, fun. I said, are you woo woo? And she said, sometimes. What is it? And I was like, listen. So you and I have discussed this a little bit before. So what I'm saying to you, you might already know, but maybe you don't know exactly like what I've learned.
I bet you I don't know.
So we've talked a little bit about human design in the past.
Love human
design. Talked a little bit about how maybe she and I would want to do like a look at our design charts, like somebody
reading.
Yes, a co-reading.
Yeah.
I listened to an interview with a human design expert, and she offers also a look at your chart. So I pulled up Hailey's chart and I pulled up my chart, and then I listened to what she had to say, and I learned a little bit about. So,
okay.
Did you know that you are a projector?
I did.
Okay. So
I'm not, I know that about myself. I'm not entirely sure that I understand the concept.
Okay. I am also a projector.
Okay.
So what I learned about projection is that projectors we live in a world that's very conditioned to be like, go, 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 girl boss, close to the sun. You got to put in on the effort and all the time. Projectors in reality are meant, their way in the world are meant to kind of fall back a little bit, observe, and be called on. So you might, I experience this sometimes, and I think you do too, but the way the woman said it for projectors is that a lot of times we may feel as though we really just want to be recognized for who we are, recognized for our talents, and have somebody see us. Like not that we're not willing to do the work, but that we really have this feeling inside of us where like someone is going to see me and help me and put me where I need to be because they're going to see me. And so we have a desire to be seen in that way.
Okay. And
so projectors are meant to kind of fall back, observe, look around us, make connections with the people in the world around us. And then we will be kind of like seen and offered opportunities.
I see.
When we are meant to like live in this culture of hustle, 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 which you and I are big time hustlers, we feel so much more depletion and energy draining than maybe someone who is a manifester or a manifesting generator or somebody like that might feel, because that's not necessarily like what we are designed to be. Also, human design is something that came about like around 1987 by this man, and it's too woo-woo to even tell you. I don't even tell you how this man came up with it. It really got me giggling. That's how silly it is. But anyway, this is just for fun, so it doesn't matter. This man in 1987, he came up with it, and it's based on a lot of different ancient Chinese astrology. It's based on a lot of different qi information. And really it's about the time and place that you were born. And at one point, the minute you're born, part of your personality is formed based on where the moon, the sun, the stars, yada, yada, woo, woo, your chi. And then the other part of it comes from kind of like your, the world around you. Anyway, whatever. So it's just for fun. But you and I are both projectors, and I learned that. And the other thing that she said that was really interesting that pertained a little bit to what you and I talked about. Did that make sense, what I just said?
Yeah.
A little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
That pertained to what you and I had talked about on the pod a few weeks ago was the listening to your gut and your overall intuition.
Yeah.
And she gave some really good advice that's so simple, but I was like, I've never done this, and maybe we should give it a go. She was like, for projectors sometimes too, especially if the different chakras are open, like, again, I'll have to show you your chart.
Yeah.
But she's like, a lot of people are intuitive, and sometimes our culture has you go against your intuition, and it's decision making with your head.
Yeah.
She's like, for a week, write down everything you feel like that might be intuitive. For instance, you might write down, I have a feeling that my friend's going to cancel on lunch today. You might write down, I have a feeling that today I'm going to, I don't know, like something's going to happen to you. And over the course of a week, write it down. And then she said at the end of the week, look and see what actually manifested, what actually happened. And it will help you understand what intuition is. And I know that sounds like such a easy thing to do, but I've never done it. And I think if I did that, I might see that my note was full of things that I predicted that actually happened just because I listened to my gut versus my head.
I totally think.
Have you ever done that?
I've never written down all of the things that I've thought, but I've always, and especially in my like adult life, I've noticed, and I think it's because I'm trying to think about the best way to say this, but I will just say that I think in my adult life, I've figured out how intuitive I am, and I wasn't sure what aspects like are, I know intuition comes from God too, and it comes from also your experience in life. And then I also wonder, I'm like, well, okay, this connects to this because of who we are from the beginning. Mm-hmm. But I have never doubted my ability to be intuitive.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. And it's gotten stronger as I've gotten older. I've been able to,
connect the dots for that.
Zip, zap, zap.
Human design, I think, is interesting because a lot of it, from what I can tell so far, from what I've learned about it, is that none of it, in terms of like the way you look at your chart, is negative or positive. It's just truly the way that you are built from the inside out as a human being, and it's relating back to like, some things that again are very woo woo, but I like that it's not negative or positive. Sometimes with astrology, when we're like playing in that, people can put a lot of like negative qualities on, like, for instance, I'm a Taurus sun, I'm a Leo rising, and there's some really like negative connotations with Tauruses are stubborn or they're lazy, and Leos are self-centered, like whatever. This human design thing, I like it because there's not anything about it that's negative, tearing yourself apart. It's just about understanding the way that you tick. Yeah. And that speaks to me. It's similar to like the Enneagram thing, which I don't know that much about Enneagram either.
No, I've done it before. I've taken the test. I know that I'm a helper, and I can't remember what that is, but I'm a helper. And then somewhere you have like wings that I'm, the other thing is like a go-getter, not a go-getter. That's not the word, but like someone, I don't know, someone who is
like an ambitious type.
Yes, an ambitious type. Mm-hmm. It made sense when I saw it. I was like, that makes sense. It tracks.
I think I did one when I started a corporate job that I had a few years ago. That's what they did when you onboarded, which is really popular, and also just in hindsight, so funny. Like one of my onboarding things was I had to take this Enneagram test so that I could print out my Enneagram and put it outside of my office so that everyone could see how I best am communicated with, or the way that I prefer to accept criticism, or like whatever.
Wow.
And in hindsight, I'm like, that's
kind of crunchy for corporate.
Not only that, I'm like, is that legal that I had to display my Enneagram for the whole office?
I'm sure you could have said no.
I could have, but in hindsight, I was like, yeah. I don't remember what I was, but anyway, you and I have talked about how you have a friend who does human design, and I know that it's kind of rising in popularity, or at least not oh my God, hello, stroking out. Maybe not popularity, but it's rising in like visibility. People are starting to understand what it is. And I just listened to that little interview with this expert, and she was laying down some cool information.
Well, it's really interesting to hear more information about yourself and how you tick, and how, especially what you were talking about earlier when you were saying, like, you know, we do live in a society. It's just the way that, you know, we were all raised.
Yeah.
That it's, you're on to the next thing always. You're on to the next thing. It's go, 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 go. If you don't work, you'll die, sort of thing. And it's so crazy how intensely it's drilled into us. Like, especially these last few months, I've realized how much I have been doing the past few years. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And when I've been forced to take a step back, and parts of me have felt like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm not moving forward because, and how much do I have to be, like, not kidding. My brain has said to me, I've said, how much do I have to go through before I can have something like good happen? I've been working so hard, like all these things that has nothing to do with it. But because of the society we were raised in, my brain is telling me, you have to do work, and do all these things in order for all of your hard work to come to fruition.
Yeah.
Where honestly, girl, like, sit down. You're going through a lot. You need to breathe so you can actually do work.
I do think too that I'm also, like you, a naturally ambitious person. I have a lot of ambitions, and I do have a lot of drive and get up and go. Like, I can be a self-starter.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do wonder how much of that is because I feel that is expected of me versus
how much are you naturally,
what am I naturally intending to be doing. So I think that, to your point, I want a lot of information about myself, and that might be self-centered. Maybe that's my Leo rising. I want to understand myself, but my reasons for wanting to understand myself are so that I can be happier.
Yeah.
And then more productive. And I'm like, why is that my secondary thing?
Yeah,
why do I have to be more productive with the happy part? And that's always been where I struggle with understanding myself, is that my happiness and subsequently my self-worth are often tied up in my productivity. And that is something that I've come to understand more and more the older I get, but I really want to understand why they're so closely tied, because innately, because of who I am, I should be worthy and happy just because of my existence versus what I put on my to-do list and I tick off day to day.
Yeah.
And so the human design thing, I think I was interested in that because I thought it would help me understand, again, how I tick.
Yeah.
And I just want to know a little bit, like, why am I tick-tocking the way that I'm tick-tocking? Because sometimes I'm tick-tocking on my rocker, like, legit. You know?
I most certainly am. I most certainly am tick-tocking, rocking, sock'em robots over here.
Yeah. I want to just talk, maybe not so hard.
No.
I feel like I'm getting a little whiplash sometimes.
No, it's crazy. You know, last week I just dressed a style client for South by Southwest, which is a huge film festival. It's really exciting. Great carpet time, great networking. She's going to thrive and she's going to look great doing it. But obviously, me being the person that I am and having this in my brain all the time, literally the last 2 weeks when I've been working with her, I'm like, I've got to, like, what am I doing with my life? I haven't. And then, you know, a family member calls and I'm dealing with, you know, it's truly like so wild what I've done to my brain, because lately I've been like, well, what advice would I give my friend if my friend was me? You know, like, what advice would I give them?
That's like my number one fear that pops in myself when I'm going through something, and I say to myself, what would I tell a friend? I always backtrack. I'm like, no, you're not the same as your friend.
I know, but that's not, I know, but I do it to myself too. I'm like, well, they're not you. Yeah, exactly. They're not a sword out. Get your ass up and get to work.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. Every time I say, like, sword out or whatever, I always go Southern, and it doesn't need to be.
Because when I look at a friend, I'm like, you're doing too much.
You need to rest.
I'm like, you're precious.
You can't even expand your full creation because your brain is rotted because it's tired.
How could you expect more of yourself when you're already doing so much?
You're a princess. You need lotion on your hands.
And then you and I, when we turn the mirror inside, we're like, get up and do the work.
Like, I'm pointing at myself. Nobody wants to work anymore.
No. And Kim Kardashian would tell you and I to get up off our asses.
And take the LSAT.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, well, she's very
She'll
accomplished.
be fine.
She's fine.
She'll take it again.
And yeah, third time's a charm, and it's the
Kim
last.
Kardashian.
I know. I'm like, don't feel bad.
I do feel bad.
It does stink because she has worked very hard. So, and no one should deny that. But also, she'll be okay.
She will be fine.
Literally, in the grand scheme of things, you still got Chris with you.
I was gonna say with Kris Jenner on your side, I really don't know what can go wrong,
sister. But we're complimenting her. She was worked very hard.
Oh my God!
So I don't want to say I'm making fun of her.
I'm being sincere.
Sorry, my sleeve keeps flipping over and it's annoying.
A bell sleeve.
Like
I love it.
Bell. It's a little dramatic. No, but seriously, when I'm talking to myself, I'm like, "Ugh." So last week I worked a full long day. It was my long day nannying. I worked with my style client that day. I had a commercial audition, which I have been turning down most commercial auditions because my brain is just, that's it. That's my brain. Anyway, I do all this. An insane day. My girl, Kat Barnes, she sends me a fellowship, this acting program. It's like a training program it's hosted by Sony, and it's going to be in August in LA. And, I'd have to pay my way and all that stuff, but it would be a great opportunity. And she sent it to me the night before, and she was like, hey, do tomorrow. You should do have you seen this? And first of all, can I just say thank you for sending that to me? I had seen it a month prior, but that was 1 month closer to my mom passing away. So I was just, I don't care. I don't care because nothing matters. You know what I mean? In the real thing, the real scheme of things. So anyway, I have this jolt of, nobody wants to work anymore. I was looking in the mirror and doing that. So I, after a full, longest day of my life, got out my lights, my audition lights, because the only thing I would need to do, by the way, all of the stuff was just filling out information, uploading resume, headshots, reels, that sort of thing. And then your audition was, you could choose an old audition that you had. So I chose one that I did recently that I was proud of. But you had to record a 30-second video of why explaining. I was like, Hailey, you have to be a one-take wonder because you have no energy and you're going to do this. And I was a two-take wonder because I did it was supposed to be 30 seconds and it was 2 minutes. So I was like, well, that can't happen. And I built up the story in the 2 minutes. So I couldn't cut it. I couldn't edit it to only have some of it because it didn't make sense. So I had to do it again. It did end up being a full minute, but I don't care. And that's where I was like, I don't care. And I was just once I got in my car and I went to go hang out with J-Dog and I started editing it and putting all this stuff and uploading and doing all this stuff. And I was like, why did I just do this to myself?
Do what?
I truly was like, why did I just do this? Do all that to myself. I looked in the mirror and said, you're not doing enough. Your acting career isn't moving.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant, why did I just proceed with submitting my application? But you're saying, why were you belittling yourself about it? Or beating yourself up for not doing enough?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I did the application because I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And I would have done it had I not been going through what I was going through. But also I was like, why did I do that to myself? Why did I I put myself in a position to be stressed out, have to get the lights out, put makeup on. My hair was greasy as all get out. So I did my hair cute in a low ponytail and put on a hat and washed my face and did a full beat. I did all of that because I thought that I had to, because I wasn't doing enough when I'm literally doing too much. My whole day I was working, the whole day before that working. I'm doing enough. I think because you have such little control in so many aspects of your life. When you feel like you can have control, you like white knuckle it. And I felt like I didn't need to do all of that.
I also, you didn't need to, but something like that example, I tend to think that like, so you had already seen it. Your friend sent it to you because she wanted to make sure you saw it because she believes in you and she thought it could be a good opportunity. And then somewhere maybe in your intuition, even though you were dog tired and you knew you did not have to do that because you'd done enough, somewhere maybe in your intuition, it was like, you should do this.
You know what? That's crazy you say that, because that's, I think, when the attitude about doing it, when I knew that, and like turning it in, even though it was a minute, especially with casting directors who don't know me, I like to follow the directions to a T. I know we know the rules so we can break them, and there are exceptions. But when I first meet a casting director, because that's such a quick way to take someone out of the running, because they're like, oh, they can't follow directions. I don't know them. Like they could be an unprofessional actor, because there are plenty of those. So I think I was beating myself up for that aspect. But there also was that part of me that said, who cares if it's not perfect? You showing up and doing this is enough, because you are worthy. Well, because by the way, I have all the confidence in the world when it comes to why I'm doing acting and, you know, pursuing it. It's not me that I lack confidence in. It's the industry, which makes sense because, you know, I can't control that aspect of it. It either happens or it doesn't. But there was something inside of me that was like, this is good enough. And honestly, it's great because you did it.
Yeah, 100%. I do think that sometimes the beating up maybe is less of a, I'm not doing enough, and more of, I didn't do it right. And so in your case, maybe it's that. Yeah. And I also fully support, and you have helped me understand this. Hold on, let me check. Are we recording? Yeah, we recorded.
Sometimes you guys,
I just got a wave of terror.
I do that
we were not recording
the camera too.
You've taught me this too. To
be scared if we're recording or not.
But also anxiety. Like just get it done. It doesn't always have to be done perfectly. And it's never prevented me from starting something. Like I can start messy, but I do like for it to build up to a soft hum of perfection. And you've also taught me that you're like, no, just sometimes you just have to like get the shit done. It doesn't have to be cleany, shiny, whatever.
Acting has taught me that, in the sense that I understand, and I've seen the difference. I've seen when you can do all of the work that you're supposed to do, and you can have the best audition of your life or whatever, and then you don't even get, no one talks to you ever again. You never hear it. But then you could be rushing all day, and all of a sudden you have a quick turnaround for something, and you don't even know the lines perfectly. You don't even know everything about this production company, but because you did all of the work on all those other auditions, when you run into that room and have to deliver this scene or scenes, you show up in a really authentic way because you did the work before. So I always try to remind myself that I've already done a lot of the grunt work that it requires, just an experience in life, just experiencing things, and just who I am is enough sometimes to show up. It doesn't have to be tied with a perfect bow. It can just be like, here's what I got.
I have to remind myself sometimes about that similar thing with like motherhood specifically, because I always feel like I have to show up perfectly where I'm feeling like I'm enthusiastic and I'm smiling at her often enough. And when I go to her events, or I show up at school, or I go to her sporting, whatever, that I'm supportive and I'm telling her that I'm proud, and I'm pointing out specific things that she did well, or things that I know that she's struggling with, but that I see her and we can work on them together. And truly a thought that runs through my head all the time is like, maintain a pleasant face, have your face be pleasant, because I don't want her to think back on our childhood and think that I was always scowling or sad or stressed out or whatever. And I'm like, truly, she's probably just going to remember that I was there.
Yeah,
she's just
I was going to say, I don't remember.
She's just going to remember that I came to field day. She's going to remember that I showed up to the Mother's Day bruncheon thingy. She's going to remember that I came to her dance recital. She's going to remember that I took her to dance. She's going to remember the showing up
Yeah.
part. And that's I always go a level up where I'm like, well, let's make it perfect. And so in addition to showing up, the perfection I'm tying to it. And it's also like, yes, I'm saying this about motherhood, but I also do this
can go
for like
with everything
my
else.
friendships
Yeah.
and the way that I show up for all my relationships, or when I'm starting a new opportunity or whatever. And I'm like, that shit is exhausting, man. It's exhausting to live in my mind in that way sometimes. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But like, that's exhausting.
It's so useless too. The good thing is now that you like pay attention to that, it's easier to call it out when it's happening. When you start to name it and start to say, okay, that's pointless. It's not productive for me to do. So now I've noticed it, and now I can notice it when it comes up. And if you keep calling it out on yourself, like, it's easier to recognize it while it's happening, so you can, dip back into the presence and not be caught up in your brain with all of the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or I should, be better. But also when I think about meeting people, I also wanted to bring this up earlier with human design and just talking about, showing up is enough. Essence is everything. Essence is everything. I have been thinking about this because Timothee Chalamet said recently, like, no one cares, everybody knows. He said something like, I want to do something that's important, like be a movie star, not, go to be in a ballet, which no one cares about.
He implied that ballet and opera were basically dying art forms, is what he implied, and that nobody cares about them. Which
this was my first thought. And maybe this is the grief talking, but I said, who cares what Timothée Chalamet says?
So true.
I'm not going to ask him about art. That is the last thing I would ask him about. I would say, what's Kylie
you were
like?
in Willy Wonka.
Yes.
And you just made a movie about a ping pong person. What do you know about art?
Also, he should know about art. Like, he went to what's the performing arts high school? I forget.
He don't.
LaGuardia. Or is that an airport?
No, but it's also, I think, LaGuardia High School is in New York as well.
Okay, yeah. That's where he went. And his parents were involved in the arts. I think his mom and sister were ballet dancers. That could be true or not true.
He either is kicking himself for saying that.
Oh, he so is.
Or he said it on purpose. I can't decide.
I can't decide, and I don't care, and I don't know why everybody got so upset, because I was just thinking, I'm like, that is so him. That is so his essence. And I was also thinking about, I was like, we would be more upset. First of all, if a woman said that, her head would be chapped off. Second of all, I also think we have to like stop expecting people to be everything.
Yeah,
Why
that's
can't
true.
we appreciate people for being good at what they do?
But also on that same side of that coin, when it comes to Timothée Chalamet, we also can't keep expecting these little movie stars to have it all figured out.
No,
he's a young man,
he's so
a young movie
young.
star. Everything that comes out of his mouth is going to be bing bongy because he's still forming his bing bong brain.
Also, he doesn't live in the real world.
So we just have to stop expecting everyone to be everything all the time.
Yes.
And I to what you're saying, we say this all the time, consider the source. Like, you're not my source for hundreds-year old art news. Like,
I'm not going to ask you about the opera or the ballet.
So I don't expect you to feel any type of way about it because you think art right now is Willy Wonka and Marty Supreme. So of course I'm going to consider the source.
Also, everything he said, I think if maybe Matthew McConaughey felt like he could have asked, or if someone else, I mean, if we could all think about something and ask it in a different way, I think maybe I think this is obvious. What he was trying to say was, this is what I wanted to do. Like, I don't think he needed to say all of that. I don't think he meant to say all that. I think it fell out of his mouth. It's kind of clear that he's just like riffing and raffing there. And in my mind, I was just like, I
think what he was trying to say is, I'm a young person and I want to do what I perceive as young people do in performing arts. That's what I think he was trying to say. I think he was trying to say the perception is for ballet and opera that it is more of a refined taste. Maybe that's associated with a higher or like an older demographic. And I think he was just trying to say, I am a young person and I want to do young person things. Also, he didn't say it in a way that was like well received.
It was not eloquent.
No.
But also, I wonder if he was also meaning like, this is not a widely accessible art. Those aren't widely accessible. Being on the internet, being in film and TV, that's more accessible as far as audience wise. Like, we can see it
the
easier.
Audience that I resonate with.
Right.
The audience that I resonate with is where he was missing the mark. The mark is he should have said, I am relevant to this type of person. Right. I may not be relevant to a person who likes opera or ballet, which again is associated with a person who is maybe a little older than my demographic. And he missed the mark on that. But also, if we read between the lines, that might be what he's trying to say.
Phenomenal PR for ballet and the opera.
And I'm happy that they're taking it, because sometimes people, I think, are hesitant to jump on, from like a PR perspective, hesitant to jump on these types of like quick media sound bites or things like that. And especially if you're government funded, or a lot of the times that these different local ballet companies or operatic performance artists in these different cities they take money from grants and from the public, and that can prevent you from really speaking out on things, because you have to make sure that the people that are donating to you are happy. Yeah. But I've seen that, to your point, that they're really jumping on it, because it's always safe to stick up for yourself. That's always a safe place to stick up for yourself. To do it in a cute and funny way, and to be like, Tim, or come visit us. Or informative. A lot of them too are saying, did you know that this art form is this is where it comes from? And they're using it as a platform to inform the masses on, like, maybe ballet and opera isn't accessible, like you're saying, but they're using it and be like, let's make this an educational moment, which I also like. Yeah, I really think that's cool.
I love that. I love that was the response. Also, as far as like acting goes, I understand what he means, just because I ride the line. I have some friends who are really just interested in theater, and I have other friends who are only interested in film. And then I'm in the middle there, where I think theater is everything. The only reason that film and TV exists, obviously, it goes back to opera, which is storytelling, and ballet, storytelling. There are so many similarities in all of it that I think that, honestly, maybe this opportunity, this PR opportunity, maybe Timothée actually did a big scratch on the back for both of those art forms, because people are going to take the moment, talk about it. And then also people are going to go, because everybody just wants to wear a hero cape and then be like, well, look, I go to the opera. Okay, please go. Spend money.
Yeah, do it. I mean, there's no downside to somebody stating their opinion and then somebody using it in a way that's like for advocacy. Like, there's no downside to that. And that in its essence is like what PR has evolved into be too. Like, you take something that's relevant and you apply your own perspective to it, and then you try to broadcast that into the world as it's made relevant by that like one pop culture moment. But there's no downside to what he said. The only thing that's a downside is him catching heat about his own convictions. But
again, he has Kris Jenner on his side. He's gonna be fine.
Like, but that's also like, he's used to that. He is in the public eye. Like, he was built. He has probably insulated himself in some way about like the persona that he shares, and then the persona that's like maybe like the real him. So he's insulated from it. You hope he is anyway. But it's also like, he didn't say anything like in the grand scheme of like his publicist freaking out. He didn't say anything like wildly crazy. Also,
it wasn't hurtful.
That's right.
I mean, I know I have a lot of dancers who I'm friends with, and
it's not personally hurtful.
No.
It's not personal. He wasn't attacking anyone. So that's what makes it a little bit more like, let's give him a break.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious. Like, I think he was just like talking out of his butt. Like, he was just like having a conversation. Sometimes things slip out and you're like, ooh, I wish if I could have gone back. Like, that's what fell out of my brain at the moment. And I was trying to be natural and show my personality, and I was trying to be authentic to myself, but maybe that wasn't the most eloquent way I could have said that.
I've never spoken directly to Matthew McConaughey. I don't know what type of vibe he's putting out there. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Matthew McConaughey makes you feel so comfortable.
Well, I'm sure he makes him feel broy.
Yeah, you just start saying it. But I think that what we both said was the truth, and like what is truly, when you look at the situation, he was intending to get a point across that he said in a way that was sparked a debate. That's it. Like the point, he was not as clear with a point that he wanted to make, and that's okay. That's all right. Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, I think people got too worked up.
But I do think he probably don't be knowing about any good art, even if he went to that school.
No, I think
That
he
is
lives in
my
a different
opinion.
world. Again, he lives in a different world. I think if you want to talk to an actor who really like appreciates that stuff, talk to theater actors. Dang, like you guys should know that by now.
Can you look at me, please?
Yeah.
Can you close your eye?
Oh God, what's happening? Do I have an eyelash?
Yep. Close your eye. Okay. Top or bottom?
Oh, what does that mean?
Top or bottom?
Am I a top or a bottom?
Nope.
Okay.
Top finger, bottom finger. I have Hailey's eyelash. This is
I have to guess which finger it's
Did you
going to
not do
stick
this
to?
growing
No.
up? Okay, so you take the eyelash from someone's face, their
Okay.
cheek, and then you hold it between your fingers and you ask them top finger, top or bottom. It's go with your intuition. Is it on the top or is it on the bottom? When I release my fingers.
Gosh, I can't. When you tell me to go with my intuition, I'm thinking of the science of it. What is the
No,
inertia?
there's no science.
Okay. Top.
Are you sure?
I don't know. No, bottom. It's on the bottom. I see it. Wow.
Now close your eyes
Okay.
and make a wish and blow.
Did it go?
Yep. Good job.
I made a wish.
Yep. You've never done that before?
No, I've made a wish on eyelash, but it's just like you take it off and you go, okay, make wish.
Oh, you don't have to do the top or the bottom bit?
No.
No, the top or the bottom bit is the high stakes because if you get it wrong, the wish is the other person goes, well, sorry,
you lose.
You didn't get a wish.
Not
the other person just
today.
flicks it off and keep it moving.
And then you just lose that eyelash.
That's right. That's right.
That's horrific. It's sad.
I think I think we covered a lot of bases today.
We did. We discussed the arts,
I think
science, women in STEM.
Sometimes when I edit our episodes, there are long pauses where you and I are thinking through things because we're having more like serious discussion and you and I want to get it right with our thoughts.
Yeah.
This is not going to be that episode.
Oh,
and
no.
oftentimes those episodes are more easy. They're easier for me to edit because the ad space that we have is like so clearly defined.
Yes.
These episodes are difficult because I don't think that one of us was always yammering on at some
There was
point.
one point where I stopped and I thought,
And I'm sure I filled that space
No.
with a yammer.
no, I think I was like in the middle of a sentence, so you didn't.
Great.
But,
Well, don't, after you hear the 14 ads that go in that one space, please, thank you for getting through
listen
them.
to them, please.
Yes.
Please listen to them.
Yes.
I love you.
Please rate, review, subscribe. Please send this episode to a friend. I want to clarify Great Britain, the United Kingdom.
Well, we love you, first of all.
Well, great.
Maybe not the chocolate.
Britain specifically, I do love you because you are climbing up the charts. You actually had more downloads last
Cheerio,
episode
love.
than Norway. So thank you. Big ups
Cheers.
to you.
Cheers.
Canada, I see you too. You're climbing the ranks as well.
Oh,
We're international, baby.
We love ya.
I want to
Hey.
say UK. I know I came out of the gate hot about your chocolate, and I want you to have nice things. That's why I care.
and you do.
Because I care about you, and so I want you to have nice things. And
Your architecture is just stunning.
that's just why I think that you should also have good chocolate.
You
I
deserve
care.
the world.
I'm passionate because I care.
Also, by the way, your food's killing it. Maybe not specifically like
You get
great-
a bad rap for your food.
Just Europe. I'm saying you.
Oh, Europe,
you
yes,
do.
but the UK
You don't have pesticides in every corner.
UK, Great Britain, y'all get a bad rap for your food. You're doing a good job.
You're doing fine, sweetie.
Please send this episode to a friend. Thank you so much. We love you guys.
Also, tell us what your human design is. I want to know what everybody is. I want to know. I know that I think manifestors are the biggest.
Manifestors are the people, projectors are the biggest.
Okay.
Manifestors are the people who basically can just speak into existence things they think are good ideas. And then they're not actually they actually don't have like the capacity all the time to take those ideas to the next level. Projectors are the people that listen to those ideas from the manifestor and they go, oh, that's the one I've been waiting back for. Like you that spoke to me.
Wow.
And then there's also generating manifestors, which they can generate ideas and act on them. I
So
don't know
go
everything.
take it, and you need to tell
Go take
us
it.
what you are.
Also, if
And
you have
let's
any
all start a business and then bully each other when we're tired. I'm kidding.
like Timothee Chalamet.
I'm kidding.
Please also, if you have any ideas or requests for future episodes that you'd like to
Oh my gosh,
hear.
wait,
we'd
next
be
episode.
Next episode could be a taste test.
Next episode is our 100th episode.
Oh,
So-
okay. So let's do this right here, right now. Do we want to do a Q&A from the peeps?
Okay. That would be a good one.
Or maybe not.
Well, let's do a Q&A.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's just put a call. We'll put a call out.
Yes.
And then we'll surprise you. How about that? If you have a question for us, here's how you can reach us. You can email us. You can DM us on all the various social medias, or you can call me. You can beat
us.
me.
If you have our number, call us.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
I want to hear from Norway.
I'm begging. It's like, it's so many of you, and I talk about it every episode, and it's still radio silent. But honestly, the
who
listens
are
keep
you?
growing.
And then also, I mean, how'd you find us? And then also talk to us.
Also, do you think I'm pretty?
I feel like we're like reaching out to the aliens. Like I'm like,
Where we're like, do 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 do.
yes.
Can you
but
get back
by
to
the way,
us?
I'm not calling you an alien, Norway.
No, we're not. But we're just saying that it feels foreign because you won't.
Because it literally is foreign.
It's
but
truly
also
a one-way situation.
Who are you? I want to know everything. I'm interested. You're interesting. We're excited.
We're interested in you.
Yeah.
I put that on my Hinge profile. Rate, review, subscribe. I love you so much. We will see you next Thursday.
Janine, take us home, sis. Ah.